When you see a piece of Banksy's work, you think stenciled rats, you think Shoreditch, you think bold political slogans, humorous catchphrases. So when Startle TV heard that work by the infamous urban artist was being displayed here at the Andipa gallery in Knightsbridge, well, we had to come and investigate. Artists who have previously graced Andipa's walls include modern art luminaires such as Pablo Picasso, Andy Warhol and David Hockney. Banksy, the anonymous street scribbler believed to be from Bristol, now joins that list with 20 original works on canvas, steel and palette and 40 signed prints, which are all available to buy. How does Banksy's work sit compared to the other artists that you've had here?
Well, I think he sits very well because there have always been two outputs to his work. The first being the street work, which should ultimately stay on the street, and the studio works, which have always been meant for commercial sale.
And do they both have that anarchic streak?
Are they anarchic? Are they poignant? Are they humorous? Are they present-day sort of Punch magazine? It's up to the individual to make their own interpretation.
Banksy devotees will recognise many of the pieces. The rats, the girl with the balloon, which have popped up in streets all over London, as well as some of his cheeky juxtapositions, Lennon on roller skates, and of course the Hogarth-esque portrait, sabotaged by a custard pie. Who steps through the door? Who buys Banksy's work?
Everybody's stepping in through our doors, especially when we have our open door policy as we do, which is always very welcoming. So we get lots of kids, lots of students coming in, right the way up to the sort of classic 85-year-old American collector with his own little private museum annexed in the grounds of his property, and they buy.
And the bottom line: what's a Banksy going to cost you?
Well, nowadays the originals on the canvas, the spray paints, in other words, they'd probably start in the region of about £25,000 and up, and seriously up to £1 million now.
Really?
Yes. And the signed limited edition prints, they would start in the region of about £4,000.
Okay, so that's a little bit more affordable.
A little bit more affordable. It's all relative, of course.
Taking centre stage is a bastardised version of Edward Hopper's Nighthawks, entitled Are You Using That Chair? Measuring over 4 metres in length, it's the largest work by Banksy to come onto the market. Do you drive around and see other graffiti artists and think, there's the next Banksy?
If there is enough individual reference there to actually identify the artist and then try and track him or her down, then for sure. I mean, there's some great talents on the street, and it's always been acceptable for them to come into the gallery. We're kind of making this this is new, or is it a sellout? The artists do that, but we only need to cast our minds to Keith Haring, Basquiat, as prime examples of that.
As you can see, Banksy's distinctive images lose none of their impact in an art gallery setting. But don't expect him to turn his back on its natural habitat, the streets, just yet.